Hi guys, Kerry here from Simply Movement. So thank you for coming and joining me. We're going to have a little look and check out a mini movement meditation today. And this mini movement meditation is influenced by my learnings in Hanosomatics and the Feldenkrais method. My aim is to bring you on a movement journey that will facilitate letting go both in the mind and body, and hopefully helping you to let go of unnecessary holding patterns in the body, also known as parasitic effort. So your aim is to follow my guidance, moving as slowly as you possibly can with the least amount of muscular effort. I will ask lots of sensory questions as we go along. There is no right or wrong answer to these questions, just your answer. And the reason that I ask these questions is really to help the whole learning experience and to increase our sensory awareness. So with that, I hope you enjoy this short practice with me today. Let's come and find a little bit of space if you want to come and lie down wherever you are right now. And your choice whether you have the knees bent or the legs long. So coming into a comfortable position for you to be in. And if at any stage you feel like changing position, of course, go ahead and do that. So just allowing ourselves to settle into our space. Noticing how our body is making contact with that space underneath us. Are there parts of us that are willing to let go straight away, and then maybe there are other parts that are a little bit reluctant and they might be holding on. So to help us on our way, let's bring our focus to that little space in between the two eyebrows, the third eye. And each time as we breathe out, could we begin to invite a softening, a quietening, a melting in this space as we begin to invite ourselves to move inward. Inviting ourselves to move into the present moment. Letting go of the past and not worrying about the future. With each out breath that we take, could we invite the softening of the third eye to spread across the forehead, down through the temples and around each eye. Inviting the facial muscles to soften and the jawbone to let go. The neck and throat area. And across the fronts and the backs of the shoulders, inviting the head of each arm bone to melt towards the back of each shoulder socket. Inviting the chest to soften. And just notice how the backs of the shoulder blades are making contact with the floor underneath. Is it the same right to left, or is it different? And also noticing how the back of the rib cage is making contact. Maybe some ribs make more of an impression than others. And is that the same right and left, or can we sense any little differences between the two sides? Noticing then the size of the lower back arch. Where does it start and where does it end? And is there any little bit of softening that we could do in this space? Inviting the tops of our thigh bones to melt into our hip sockets and the back of the pelvis to spread and melt into the mat. Our aim here at this moment to let go of as much unnecessary muscular effort in the body. Our aim to let go of as much unnecessary mental effort in the mind. Very, very slowly, if the legs are long, let's transition and bend one knee up at a time and just standing the feet at about hip width apart. Could we bring our attention to the back of our pelvis, so that part of the back of the pelvis that's in contact with the floor. And let's visualize a clock face on the back of the pelvis, our pelvic clock. And down towards the tailbone is 6 o'clock. And back up towards the pelvic rim or towards the waistband of your pants being 12 o'clock. And what would it be like if we were to slowly begin to shift the weight between these 2 points? Very slowly begin to shift the weight towards 6 o'clock, towards your tail. And then slowly shifting or melting back towards 12. So gently just shifting the weight slowly and mindfully between these 2 points. Notice, how do you breathe? Do you breathe one way when you go towards the tail or towards 6, and then the opposite when you go towards 12? And there's no right or wrong here. And I will guide you just to try and breathe with a fluid breath so that we're not holding or stressing in the breath. And as we shift the weight between these 2 points, is there any sense of a movement echo up through the spine? What happens through the lower back? What happens through the rib cage? And is there any little echo of this movement into the head? Maybe you might notice a weight shift on the back of the skull bone. And don't worry if this movement is not traveling all the way up. Is there anywhere that we might be unnecessary gripping that could be blocking this movement traveling? Check in with the forehead, with the jaw, the throat, the chest, the abdomen. It could be anywhere. It could be the fingers, the toes. And then slowly come and give that up. In your own time, slide your left foot away from you and allow the left leg to go long. Taking a moment, bring your attention to your right foot. So the foot of the bent knee, and slowly begin to press that right foot into the floor and begin to reach your right knee away from you, as if you were kind of lengthening that knee in the direction of out over the foot. So it's not moving right or left. And then slowly melt back into your start position. And can you notice as you press that right foot and begin to reach that right knee, that a shift of weight occurs across the back of the pelvis, and the weight lightens off the back of the right buttock, and our pelvis rotates or pours a little bit towards the left. So very, very slowly, just moving in and out of this movement. Allow the abdomen to be soft and relaxed. And begin to notice, how far does this movement travel up through you? And could we move maybe a little bit slower and even with less effort? Are you maintaining fluidity through the breath? And if you find that you're stressing or holding the breath, do less. Make the movement smaller and use less effort. The next time you return into your start position, just rest for a moment. We're going to bring our arms up into what's called a steeple position, where we kind of create this triangular shape with the arms. The hands can gently touch, just kind of centered above the chest bone. And trying to keep those arms softly straight, let's continue with this movement of pressing the right foot, reaching the right knee, inviting the pelvis to turn, the spine to turn. Could we begin to lighten the weight off the back of the right shoulder and invite our steeple arms to turn towards the left. Invite the head to turn, the eyes to turn, and then slowly, slowly reversing out of that movement. So the movement again starting down at the foot presses. Sense that movement up through the shin, knee reaches, thigh bone lengthens, pelvis turns, spine turns, chest, arms, head and eyes. Using the least amount of effort. And let's just do one more. Is there anywhere in the body that you could soften to facilitate this movement? And just doing what's super easy to do, so we're never forcing anything. And as we come down this time, just outreach your left arm out to the side. And it doesn't matter if it's straight out or it can be a little bit at a 45-degree angle, whatever is comfortable for you. And then bring your right hand onto the front of your left shoulder. We're going to move into a movement called bow and arrow. So as before, Begin by pressing the right foot, reaching the right knee, pelvis turns, and as that turning continues up through us, begin to slide the fingers along that long left arm, just as far that is comfortable, and then slowly allow them to slide back as we come back into our start position, completely resting before we do the next one. The foot presses, the knee reaches, the high bone lengthens, pelvis turns, spine, chest, fingertips slide, head and eyes. And maybe just doing one more in your own time, but let's just do half the effort this time. Maybe reduce the range. And then slowly, slowly release. Release the arms down by the side and slide that right foot away and rest. And as we lie here, just notice once again how you're making contact with the floor underneath. Does anything feel new or different? And can you sense differences between the two sides of the body? In your own time, let's slide the left foot up, bend the left knee. And let's explore this little exploration now on the opposite side. In your own time, pressing the left foot, reach the left knee, and inviting this weight shift or turning across the back of the pelvis. Continue to breathe freely. And with each one that we do, see, could you use less effort? Could we sink into our bones and really just move from our skeleton? How far does this movement echo through us? And does it feel different on this side? Quite often we might have a known pattern on one side and maybe it's not so known on the other. How does that movement shift its weight across the back of the pelvis? How far does it travel up through the spine? Are there blockages anywhere along the way? So we're always asking ourselves these questions. This is how we learn. Are we unnecessarily gripping anywhere? And as we come back this time, let's bring our arms up into our steeple position. We press the left foot, reach the left knee, the pelvis begins to turn as that movement travels up through the spine, lightening the weight off the back of the left shoulder, chest turning, head, eyes, and just doing what feels super, super easy for us to do. So never forcing, never pushing. Soft through the third eye, through the jaw, the throat, the chest, the abdomen, the fingers, the toes, trying to move with the least amount of muscular effort through the body. What would it be like to go a little bit slower, to even use less effort? Is it easier on this side? Is it harder on this side? And as we come back this time, just allow that right arm to outreach. Bring the left hand just lightly resting on the front of the right shoulder for our bow and arrow. So again, we start from the foot, inviting this movement to move through all of us, sliding the fingertips along the long arm, inviting the head and the eyes to come along with the movement. So the more of us that's involved in the movement, the easier it'll become. That effort is shared, so it should feel easy and nearly effortless when we invite the whole body to be involved in this movement. Each time we come back to center, allow yourself a moment before you begin the next one. Let's make this our final one. As we come back, release the arms, release the foot, and come and rest once again in our starting position. How is it that we make contact with the floor now? Is it the same as in the beginning, or is it different? And could we once again bring the focus to the third eye? And each time as we breathe out, continuing to invite this softening of the mind. And as the mind softens, the body follows. Inviting our whole self to let go, to let go, to let go into the arms of the mat underneath us. Invite yourself to surrender. I invite you to rest here for as long as you wish. So don't feel the need to come up with me. But if you are ready to seal your practice off, you can slowly just bring a little bit of movement into the body and then begin to make your way maybe onto your side, and then up to sitting. So taking a moment, if you've come up, to settle into your seat. And we will seal the practice off there with Namaste. So Namaste, guys. Thank you for joining me. And if you enjoyed that practice and would like to learn more, please do get in touch with me at Simply Movement Ireland on Instagram, or email info@simplymovement.ie. Thank you.